Thanks to the unique abilities of Grigori Grabovoi, the planes of the Uzbek Civil Aviation Authority, which was transformed into the national airline Uzbekistan Airways, stopped falling. Since the beginning of cooperation between this airline and Grigori Grabovoi, there has not been a single fatal incident. Grigori Grabovoi gives precise control warning forecasts. This proves the highest level of his extrasensory abilities in the world to receive precise information. This is confirmed by the first volume of the collection of protocols and testimonies Practice of Control. The Way of Salvation. Published in 1995 by the publishing house Aprechestnost. From the 10th page of the first volume Practice of Control. The Way of Salvation. There is a testimony from the head of the Uzbek Yuga Civil Aviation Administration and the first president of the airline Uzbekistan Airways, Gani Mazidovich Rafikov. I, Rafikov Gani Mazidovich. Date and place of birth, identity document. I do hereby certify that in August 1991, in a private conversation, Morotskina Nora Raimovna, Deputy General Director of the JV Askin, told me about Grabovoi Grigori Petrovich's unique abilities, a graduate of the Faculty of Applied Mathematics of Tashkent State University. She met him during her purposeful search for people gifted with supernatural abilities in order to apply these gifts to practical social activities, and in particular, to the flight safety field. Without denying the possibility of the existence of such phenomena in our time, I understood that the current generally adopted system of worldviews does not allow the use of such abilities for practical activities, although it is of some interest. In October 1991, the General Director of the Uzbek-American joint venture Askin, the Doctor of Engineering Karakulov Ismail Vasitovich, the Deputy General Director of the JV Askin Morotskina Nora Raimovna, and clairvoyant Grabovoi Grigori Petrovich came to me with a concrete proposal for the introduction of non-traditional methods of diagnostics of the state of aircraft technology. During the conversation, I decided to test Grabovoi Grigori Petrovich's abilities by asking him to describe one of the most serious plane crashes ever occurred. A minute later, Grabovoi Grigori Petrovich was looking through the event using his abilities of clairvoyance. He began to reproduce the plane crash in detail. The details were described with sufficient accuracy, although they were only known to the members of the investigation board and to the airline's directorate. To verify some details, I invited one of the chief flight inspectors of the investigation department to join us. Without introducing him to the course of the issue under discussion, I asked him to describe the emergency device that had been described by Grabovoi Grigori Petrovich. The flight inspector enumerated in detail the main features of the device and its operation. His information was identical to the one given by Grigori Grabovoi 5 minutes earlier. As soon as the flight inspector had left the room, I proposed the following test task. I took from the table a letter of invitation to an international meeting where it was planned to discuss the purchase of aviation technology for Uzbekistan and asked Grabovoi Grigori Petrovich to describe the participants in the meeting and their position towards Uzbekistan. I was already familiar with all the participants of the meeting. Grabovoi very accurately described the physical features and characteristic habits of the participants. Based on the results of the conversation, I decided that to conclude an official agreement on the execution of scientific and technological works for the introduction of non-traditional methods of diagnostics of aviation technology in Uzbekistan, it is necessary to conduct a series of control experiments at the production base of the Tashkent Airport and its civil aviation plant. Number 243. Only after their successful completion, I promised to sign the agreement on this work and to include control experiments in the scope of work under the agreement. In October-November 1991, the control experiments were successfully carried out by Grabovoi Grigori Petrovich at the facilities of the Tashkent Aircraft Maintenance Base and at the engine test facility of the Civil Aviation Aircraft Repair Plant. 243. On December 2, 1991, the 100% convergence of the psychic forecasts results led to the conclusion of Agreement Number 9 between the JV Askan and the Uzbek Civil Aviation Authority, since 1992, national airline of the Republic of Uzbekistan. This agreement marked the beginning of the officialization of a new direction in the diagnostics of aviation technology. Technological processes, in the investigation, forecasting and prevention of plane crashes. The documents of these works has been presented in reports under the scope of the agreement and issued in the form of acts and reports. I think that this direction, like everything new, requires systematization, analysis, and study in order to understand the laws of the hidden world, which are mastered by Grabovoi Grigori Petrovich but still unknown to us. Understanding these laws may overturn many of our ideas about the world around us and force us to change our attitude to many values, regardless of age, nationality, and creed. Of one thing I am sure: the knowledge that Grabovoi Grigori Petrovich possesses has opened new horizons for mankind in understanding the laws of the universe. Signature of the person who filled in this certificate. Rafikov.